I love Five Nights at Freddy's, and no one can ever tell me that I don't. I mean, literally, I have a little poster. The only poster that I have, too. I even cosplayed as Freddy Fazbear 2022, and I did it again in 2023. It pains me to have to make a video like this, but as much as I love Five Nights at Freddy's, I wish it would just die. I consider myself to be an original FNaF fan because I fell in love with the franchise dating all the way back to August of 2014, and coincidentally, something else important also happened in August of 2014. You wanna know what that is? The release of Five Nights at Freddy's. I remember when FNaF 3 came out, a lot of people thought that it was over for the FNaF franchise, and people was actually okay with it being over with. People like Markiplier even saying they wish FNaF would have ended around FNaF 3. And next dropped FNaF 4, and then it was called FNaF 4, the final chapter. Everyone all just knew that FNaF was gonna come to an end in around 4, but it didn't. Everyone was getting emotional. Everyone was fucking breaking down in tears about thank you for taking me along the journey, Five Nights at Freddy's. Thank you, Scott Compton, because we thought it was over with, and I was so sad back then. I remember I made a wish. I said that I wish the FNaF franchise would never end. I wish I can take back that wish. Be careful what you wish for. And they continued. Sister Location, Fredbear Family Diner, and just kept on going on and on and on and on and on. And it's gotten to a point now to where I realized that I regretted that wish, and I do wish FNaF wouldn't end it back then. Now I know what you're thinking. If you're such a huge FNaF fan, why would you want the franchise that you literally grown up on end? I mean, wouldn't you want something that you love to continue going? Yes, but I think that's the problem, is that when something is good, when something is great, it needs to come to an end, okay? Good things don't last forever, and that's why they're good. That's why they're great. Part of something being good is the memories that come along with it. And then from a media standpoint, the longer things continue to go on and on and on, the quality does begin to drop, and that's when the Flanderization begins to kick in. Now, do I think FNaF is Flanderized from what it used to be? Yes, but no. No, because I don't think it fits the textbook definition of Flanderization, but at the same time, I do think that FNaF was a series that was really built on crazy, wacky theories, and now the FNaF lore is the personification of crazy, wacky theories in a way that it just wasn't 10 years ago. So yes, but no. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't even keep track of the FNaF lore anymore, and I haven't for probably about the more of over 7-8 years. I can actually pinpoint you guys the exact moment where I just said fuck this shit and I stopped keeping track of the FNaF lore. It was around the time Sister Location came out. I was watching a game theory video, and in one of his game theory videos, you guys probably know what I'm talking about, he said something about the idea of there being 2 purple guys and even an orange guy. And when he said that shit, I was like, okay. It was like, it just gets to a point, dude, where you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it. And I think that's the reason why I have a problem with FNaF going on nowadays, is that the lore has become too overly complex. The lore has become too, it's widened so much to the point it isn't even enjoyable anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, the FNaF lore is always a complex phenomenon that took like geniuses, scientists, the people who can uncode ancient hieroglyphics from ancient Egypt. It took everyone combined to understand the FNaF lore, but not like this. I missed the period of time of FNaF where the biggest questions that we had was who did the bite of 87 and what was in the box. But nowadays, and I've heard some of the things people say things about like ectoplasm and like spirit remnants and cloning devices, and Springtrap is some sort of digital monster that can manipulate. Now he has powers, and what the fuck? FNaF franchise, unironically enough, is the gaming equivalent of the Fast and Furious franchise, in which the Fast and Furious started off as a racing movie franchise, but now I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be in Avengers Doomsday to fight against Dr. Doom. It's insane, and I think that's exactly what Five Nights at Freddy's is. We went from something that had structure, the lore always being complex, but at the same time not too overly complex, to I don't even listen, guys. I'm so disconnected from the FNaF lore to the point I haven't watched a single clip, not a video, a clip of the new FNaF game, the Secret of the Mimic. I haven't watched a single clip because it's just like, I don't want to say I don't care, because for me to say I don't care about FNaF product, it just tears my heart. I kind of don't. It's because the lore is so insane. The lore is so ridiculous and crazy to the point it's like, oh my, is it even worth keeping up with anymore? And I think that's what happens when the series goes on for too long. Honestly, here's what I think happened. I think that it got to a point to where FNaF was no longer a legacy game. It was no longer a game about the fans. It became a game about money. It became a game about how to make an empire. I think it got to a point where Scott Cawthon just no longer actually cared about the lore. He just cared about getting money and getting rich and creating an empire, which to a certain extent I can't get mad, because Scott Cawthon's story as a game developer is pretty inspirational. Now, I've heard the Scott Cawthon has been in some controversies. I'm not too touched on it, so I really don't know. Y'all can let me know, but I have heard he has been in some controversies, but I don't know what the controversies are, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I'm only going to talk about Scott Cawthon. It's just the beginning, that 2014, 2015 run of Five Nights at Freddy's. But him as a game developer was very inspirational because he'd been creating games at that point in 2014, 2015 for about like 10 years or something like that. And all of his games just flopped. In which, I'm going to be honest, okay? High-key, the games he made before FNaF was pretty dog shit. I'm going to be real with you. I checked out some of them, and I just genuinely don't know how he thought anyone's going to sit there and play that shit. It got to a point to where nothing was working. He was about to just switch careers. So he did one last game for some sort of hope. That last game? What do you know? His final attempt in gaming turned out to lead him to an empire. And I thought that was very inspirational. But then it got to a point to where it was no longer about the fans. He just wanted to make more money. And I think that around the time Sister Location came out was around the time where he just kind of sort of decided to make that transition to just making games for the people, to like trying to do something bigger as far as making money. Because you cannot convince me that at this point Scott Cawthon is making FNaF games for the love of the game. Oh fuck no. This has became a business now. This has became like a business now. And to the extent I can't be bad at him, because I know for a fact if I created something, I would want to also, like, you know, make the most money out of it as possible. But it's just like, damn, man. And I know that he no longer owns the right to Five Nights at Freddy's, and he gave it off to like Woolly Mammoth or whatever the fuck, whoever made Security Breach. It was, by the way, Security Breach is probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life.
Thank you all so much for coming to my live stream. This game is the worst game I have ever played on my live stream. I have never played the game on live that is as bad as FNaF Security Breach. This game is absolute dog shit. This game is dog water. This game is ass.
So mad the entire time I was streaming that game, bro. It was like buggy as hell. The game itself was not really that fun, to be honest with you. The final boss shit was like fucking horrible. Oh my god, man. The DLC was okay, but the base game was pretty awful, to be honest with you. If I had to say about when do I wish FNaF would have ended, I wish Five Nights at Freddy's wouldn't have ended at around probably 4, to be honest with you. Like, I'm okay with FNaF 4 being the final FNaF. And now here's the thing though, is that maybe, was it FNaF 6? It was Freddy's Family Diner. I think that was FNaF 6 when they had that one cutscene where Springtrap was doing that monologue and, you know, he was burning and whatnot. I think it was that game where they showed the tombstones of the original 4 kids and Golden Freddy, or maybe that's the puppet, on that fucking hill. Like, that ending right there, I do appreciate a lot, to be honest with you. And in my mind, that right there, that FNaF game, FNaF 6, that was the true ending of Five Nights. Everything after that is just like, okay, let's just milk this fucking franchise, see how much money we can make from it. But that ending right there is the ending for me. So I do think that FNaF should have ended at 4, but I would have been okay if they would have made another game after that and it would have had that ending. But regardless, I do wish that FNaF would have just been a franchise that should have just ended. And I want to say that, like, maybe it could end and it could have been like a spin-off franchise. I remember I saw a comment on Instagram where someone was angry at Springtrap always coming back, which, I mean, that's what he does. It's like a Runchy Mar in a sense. You can't kill him because he knows he's gonna go to hell. No. She said something about like the FNaF franchise can't continue and the flourish with Springtrap coming back and something like the dead kids. Baby girl, once those original kids died, that's it. And there's nothing more that can be made from the FNaF franchise after that. Maybe you can say that, like, maybe the murders of Five Nights at Freddy's inspire another serial killer or somewhere else around the world, and that's how to do a Five Nights at Freddy's spinoff. But in my opinion, I think FNaF should have been like a one and done series, to a point where I'm tired of lying. I'm tired. I'm being honest with you. I wish FNaF would have ended 10 years ago. I didn't think the FNaF movie was that good. I still continue to support FNaF to this day, but I don't keep track of the lore anymore because I think the lore is so fucking ridiculous to the point it's impossible to track. I don't know, bro. And then I remember, like, the last time I actually somewhat kept track of the FNaF lore, Security Breach, and apparently Gregory is a fucking animatronic, and Vanessa is some like wheel of Springtrap, and then you have Burnt Trap with the 7 for Springtrap, and Springtrap has the remnants of souls, and he made something, and also Springtrap has superpowers now too. And it's, oh my god, bro. It's like, oh my god, bro. In my opinion, it just screams we don't give a fuck anymore about this franchise. franchise. We just want money. Like, FNaF is becoming like Dragon Ball in the sense of it just won't fucking end, and they just want money, okay? Oh my god, man. And I hate to say it's about Final Fantasy, because that's my game. That's my fucking game, bro. It just gets to a point, man. It just gets to a point, dude. Oh my god, man. And I hate to say it's about Final Fantasy, because that's my game. That's my fucking game, bro. It just gets to a point, man. It just gets to a point, dude. That's my thoughts about the FNaF franchise. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about the current FNaF franchise? And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. It does help me, but it helps you too. Watch, you can see content similar to this one. If you guys did subscribe to me, I appreciate it a lot. If you guys didn't, I guess you'll part ways. Either way I go, I'm mind to keep it easy. I'm gone. Peace.
That's all it is, man. Leap of faith.